Hey, good afternoon and welcome to our first meeting of the year. It's good to see everybody. First, guys, hard to believe it's 2024, but it is. Our invocation tonight will be given by Councilman Matt Harbin, and respect to the flag will be led by Mayor Pro Tem John Roberts. Please rise.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we pray for our community, the losses, the illnesses, and the safety of our citizens and friends, that your hands of comfort and safety will be with us. The young people here tonight, bless them with purpose and direction. I pray for our fire, police, and city workers that you would guide and protect them. I pray for this council to make wise decisions pleasing in your eye. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started with our meeting tonight, we have a special presentation. We have a special presentation tonight, and we're just talking in our work session that this never gets old. You know, when we, I don't care if it's, we've been very fortunate to have champions of this state who are in 10 and 12. And we just recently celebrated another one of our city high schools as far as the state championship. So again, never gets old. And tonight we're here to celebrate our most recent state champions, the Westside Rams. I'm supposed to clap. You know, it's very hard to win a state championship at any level. And for what you guys did this year for our city, your school, and our state is very important. So I have a proclamation that I'd like to read. And the proclamation reads, in celebration of Westside Rams 4A State Football Championship. Whereas the City of Anderson congratulates the Westside Rams' performance during the 2023 football season and winning the 4A football state championship. And whereas in heart-pounding fashion, the Westside Rams beat previously undefeated South Florence 34-32 to win the 4A state championship game at Oliver Dawson Stadium on South Carolina State's campus. And whereas on December the 2nd, the Rams came from 2 scores behind in the fourth quarter to beat South Florence, getting the game-winning pass from quarterback Cutter Woods to wide receiver Jamar Boston with 15 seconds left for the 16-yard game-winning touchdown that will go down in Westside history. And whereas Westside came into the game with a tough defense and a high-flying, record-breaking offense that didn't need much time on the clock at the end. Just 2 minutes or so to go, 78 yards, a typical drive for the Rams this season, but this time for a long-awaited state championship title. And whereas the Rams showed a lot of discipline, teamwork, faith, and kept their cool executing the plan to bring the championship title back to Anderson. And whereas this is the first state football championship in Westside High School history since 1969 under the leadership of the late Coach William Roberts. Now, 44 years later, under first-year Coach Brian Lane's leadership, the Rams have brought the championship back to Westside. And whereas the City of Anderson is very proud of the Westside Rams football team, Coach Lane, Coach West, and their coaching staffs of these talented individuals, preserving through challenges with dignity and good sportsmanship. Now, therefore, I, Terrence V. Roberts, Mayor of the City of Anderson, along with my fellow council members, do hereby congratulate the Westside Rams on their success of their championship season, prestigious achievements, and encouraging them to continue their commitments to excellence in the classroom, community, and through athletics. Go Rams! I'm going to ask Councilman Newton to come down and assist me, but I would ask for Coach Lane, Corey Roberts, little brother, Miss Kelly, to come down. And I'm going to put Coach Lane on the spot. I want him to say something. I know he probably has a hard time, guys, with locker room speeches, right?
All right, give me two. All right, pay attention. No, but I just want to say thank you guys for celebrating us tonight. You know, this is a victory, not just for Westside High School, but for the whole city of Anderson. And we're just, I'm just blessed to be here. You know, Mr. Roberts, and I know Miss Kelly was in the district. She was involved vicariously around getting me in here, but I'm just thankful that I'm here. And I just want to thank my wife. I would be remiss. She's standing back there. Kenya, wave your hand right there. I better do that tonight, so I don't get beat upside the head. But I just really want to just thank you guys for allowing us to be here. I'm thankful for my team, thankful for my squad, and all these are seniors except for the young man on the end right there. But our senior group right here was just a tremendous group that we're going to miss, and I'm going to miss. And like I always tell them, we're going to be standing on your shoulders. Thanks for getting us this foundation, and we're going to try to keep y'all proud and do it again next year. Thank you.
Well, it is truly an honor. Thank you as a former Westside alum, not always an alumni. Thank you so much, Coach Lane. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Thank you. But I would be remiss if we didn't thank Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson really did pour into Anderson 5. I see the coaches in the back there, and what his vision was, and it came to pass, right? So here we are, standing on your shoulders, as you said, and we are so very proud. And thank you so much for taking the opportunity to recognize these young men. We appreciate your effort, we appreciate your hard work, and it paid off. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Roberts. And again, just want to echo what everybody else said. And the thing that people don't realize about this senior class, you can't want a better group of kids to be around, not just on the field, but in the classrooms and the lunchroom. And a lot of times, as much success they had this year, you don't really know they play football. They just walk around and support each other. We're very thankful. And like Coach Lane said, we're going to stand on your shoulders and try to win another one next year. And as always, go Rams.
Hey guys, can y'all line up and walk through? Congratulations.
Nice to meet
I've
you.
worked with Amy for 7 years.
I know, I bet you.
But it's nice to meet you. I'm Margo Martin. I'm the comms CFO. Nice to meet you. Congratulations. I love the place.
Andy West. Sure. Hey, guys, y'all can leave if you want to. You don't have to stay. You don't So the minutes of our December 11th meeting were distributed. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? Not hearing any, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have first by Mr. Harvin,
Second.
second by the Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes of December 11th passed unanimously. We have one item of old business, and that item is request consideration of an ordinance to revise the PDD, Plan Development District documents for K-Field Farms located at the corner of Midway and Crestview Roads. Mr. McEwen?
Thank you. This item was recently referred by council to the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission met and recommended approval of the item and the changes in the PDD document. Chris Darnell, our senior planner, will go over the details of this.
Thank you, Mr. McEwen. Patrick, could we have the map? So I'd like to start out, just so that everybody knows where we are. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see the red outlined parcel. The revisions to the PDD document are only to that parcel. I know there's a lot of development going on in this area, but I wanted to make sure we all knew what we were talking about. So as Mr. McEwen said, when the parcel was annexed to the city, a PDD document was approved, and the current owner is before us requesting revisions to that PDD document. As you know, any revisions to a PDD require it to come through, just like zoning, through council, planning commission, and then through council. So a major part of this revision is a reduction from 159 units to 124 units. So that really does three things that have really exterior implications to the parcel. One, it decreases the average density to 2.53 units per acre. That's down from 3.24 units per acre. Two, the minimum lot size will increase from 6,500 square foot to 8,500 square foot. Now the average lot size is almost 10,000. It's 9,750 square foot. And third, this reduction in density will eliminate 250 daily trips from surrounding vehicular infrastructure. Other changes that I would classify as interior are primarily setback changes. So the minimum front yard setback will go to 20 foot. That's currently it's 20 to 30 foot depending on the lot size. The minimum rear yard setback will be 15 foot, and it's currently 10 to 20 foot based on lot size. And the minimum lot width will increase to 65 foot. It's currently 43 and 50 foot depending on the lot size. Other things include the elimination of vinyl siding as a material, and additional options at T intersections will be provided because of the lot width. They would allow for the orientation of garages right across from roads at T intersections, again to prevent lights from shining into the house. That's in addition to the open space, and you can see in your packet there were plans that you could still see those intersections with open space. Now, additionally, in your packet, you received the PDD document. The language highlighted in yellow was language to be added to the document, and language in red and struck through was to be eliminated from the document. I hope that was clear. As Mr. McEwen said, the Planning Commission met on January 2nd and unanimously recommended approval to Town Council. I'm happy to answer any questions, or the applicant is present if council has any questions for them.
Thank you. And maybe I don't see it, but is there anybody in the public that would like to speak before we ask questions? I'll open it up to council. Any questions, comments? Mr. Stewart?
Under the revisions to the homeowners association, I know it has been changed. It says this development is a member of the Midway Master Association, but the previously language we had in there, it says a new homeowners association will be created to take care of the entrance monuments, common area, landscaping, lighting, all of that. Does the Midway Master Association take care, are they going to be taking care of that? Who's, just
Yeah.
because I don't know what the Midway Master Association, I don't know what's in their guidelines, so I was just wondering.
Yes, sir. They would be taking over all common property and managing that in this development. It would become essentially part of the other two homeowners associations that are there at that intersection.
And that includes, I believe, access to the common amenity that they're building. That's correct. I know they just pulled a permit on that to start construction.
Yes, sir.
So the common amenity would be in K-Field?
Yes.
It's at the corner of Crestview Midway Road is where it's proposed. Maybe the owner could speak to this a little bit farther, but with a clubhouse and pool.
Right.
So, last question I have, I just see that previously, I guess these were 2 to 4 bedroom houses, and I can't remember what the price range for those houses were, but now, again, 6 bedroom houses going up, what are the price ranges we're looking for the selling point? Just curious. Do we know what those are?
Staff can't answer that question. I don't know. The applicant might be able to address that.
I'd like them.
You know, like the applicant
Yes,
addressed
go
that.
ahead. Yes, ma'am. You tell us who you are and
Yes, sir.
your position.
Thank you for letting me speak tonight. My name is Allison Tucker, and I'm the Vice President of Land for DRB Homes. We're the intended builder for this particular community. And so the main goal, the reason we wanted to revise the PDD is because previously it was designed for more cottage-style lots, smaller lots, higher density, smaller setbacks, smaller houses. We don't want to do that. We want to do larger homes, estate-sized lots, higher price points essentially, hardboard siding versus vinyl siding. So we really wanted to kind of up the ante a little bit and make it a nicer community. So we believe we're in the middle of actually right now pricing all of those homes. We're finalizing everything, getting ready to record the plat. We think we're going to start in the very high 4s, upwards to 6, almost 700,000 if you option everything out. Our square footages range pretty wildly from around 2,000, and they'll go up to 4,000 depending on the structural options you can add with the multiple floor plans that we're going to be offering. So I'd say safely between the $400,000 to $600,000 range.
Good, thanks. Any other questions for the developer while we have her, Ms. Tucker? Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts?
Really just comments. I really found nothing wrong with these requests, and I found them really to be reasonable. And our objective here is to get good results, and there's more than one way to do that. And I came up with my own scoring. It's pretty simple in my mind, but the points that you asked for revision, I either gave it a better than was before, an equal to as it was before, or worse than it was before. And in my own scoring, I came up that all in all, it's better than it was before. So, and for that reason, I'm in favor of it. I'd like to hear from maybe other councilors.
Anything else, guys? Good comments? Mr. Martinez?
Well, I'll just piggyback what Councilman Roberts is saying over here. I mean, I've looked at it as well. This is in my district. I think that there's certainly some wins here with the decrease in density. I like the increase of, or the proposed
exterior construction that's going to be done there. I think it's fitting for what we're seeing. Some of the newer developments that are going out there is staying consistent there, which is nice. You know, we receive a lot of phone calls, especially in this area, because it was a little bit more of a country setting. So anytime new development comes in that area, I tend to receive some phone calls. But I think that this area is quickly becoming a neighborhood community for folks that want to commute up to Greenville. There's easy access to continue either up to Highway 8, or they can go on 81 to hit 85. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept.
First by Mr. Martinez,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Jeff Roberts. Any further discussion? Question?
I guess the housing that are going now, since the price ranges have gone, would we consider that still workforce or affordable housing, or that would be on the upper echelon? Who would you see moving into, maybe a school teacher or a police officer, or is it out of the price range? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think that you'd have to look at the TTIs, the Bosches, the Arthrexes. I think it probably would be outside of workforce and more be managerial, growing family type style homes.
Any other questions, comments? I had a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously. In the first reading. I have 3 items of new business. Our first item is request consideration to upgrade the utility billing software for the Water Administration Department to cloud-based. Mr. McEwen.
Oh, simply that, we're moving off hardware systems that we host locally and moving into a cloud base, which helps us on hardware costs, also contingency, business continuity. If we had a storm, high winds like we have tomorrow, and we need to work off-site or something were to happen here, you have access to off-site. Not to steal her thunder, Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Margaret Martin, will go over the details of her request. This is billing software that they use for utilities.
Thank you. Yes, in 2016, City Council gave us a permission and approval to switch from our current software at the time to BSNA utility billing software, and now we are coming to you to request to go to cloud-based software. And as you can see on my items 1 through 5, Jason Nixon, our Chief Information Officer, helped me develop the importance of moving to a cloud because some of this technology, but basically it is going to be cost-effective in the end, accessible, and then able to help the city when we want to move or transition with potentially our meter program, which is for another day, but this will be helping Mr. Banks and his department as well. The current waiting list for this is 3 to 4 months because most customers are moving to cloud-based for their software. So once council gives approval, it'll still take us 3 to 4 months to get on their calendar. And it does meet the strategic goal that the City Council has set of using technology to increase capacity, leverage efficiency, and secure data. And Jason is here to answer any technical questions you may have about the cloud, and the funding will be coming from the Water Fund. So we are recommending Council approve us migrating to the cloud for $61,100, and that includes the software, the training, the implementation.
Thank you. Questions, comment, Ms. Harbert?
Yes, I have a question. I know how Ms. Margaret loves questions from council.
I love it.
How would the implementation of this, what kind of time frame are you looking at?
We have to get on the waiting list for, and they're about 3 or 4 months out. And then I do actually have the answer to that. He told us it would take, 3 to 4 weeks.
So we're looking at like 4 to 6 months to actually get it totally implemented?
Yes.
With that, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this request to upgrade the billing system software.
First by Mr. Harvin.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newton. Any further discussion? is this our first foray into cloud-based storage offsite? We have other departments?
We do.
Yeah.
Our records management system for the PD is also cloud-based. So we've got and really it's been a goal of IT for at least the last 5 or 6 years to move as many services as possible to the cloud, just because of scalability, the lack of upfront costs. Disaster recovery is one of the big ones, because something happens, most of these facilities have far more resources available to them to keep the lights on, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Good, thanks. Anything else, guys? Mr. Roberts?
Is this a one-time cost, the 61 line?
Yes,
60?
yes.
One-time
cost. We pay annual software maintenance fee currently of $40,000. And that would continue, but this is a one-time cost to the cloud.
Go ahead. Ms. Stewart?
Now, currently, and I may be wrong, but when we first went to this utility billing, don't we use a company out of Columbia that does our utility billing, or?
That's the actual printing of the bill. We send a file from the software to that bill printing company, and they actually print the bill there.
So, but we'll still have that.
Right, nothing's going to change with the software except, instead of being a server in Jason's area, it's going to be in the cloud.
In the cloud, all right.
So in theory.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, nothing changes to the general public.
Nothing changes. There may be some cosmetic changes to the bill when we get to that point, but nothing, our policies, procedures, anything with utilities stays the same. It's just physically not going to be done here. It's going to be.
Right.
That's
in
why
the cloud.
Jason's here. I don't.
Availability is the big thing
Yeah.
too. So if something happened with AT&T, a major line's cut, all we have to do is make sure that the utility department has internet access, and they'll be able to do business, do what they need to.
Gotcha. Great. We had a first, we had a second. No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously on general approval.
Thank you.
The next item of new business is to request consideration of a construction contract for pipelining services. Mr. McEwen?
Okay, we continue to work on our American Rescue Plan Act funds that we received. Right at $12.2 million in total, have around 10 projects going on currently. And so this is one of those that we're putting in for American Rescue Fund monies for $242,000. It is a combination of a storm sewer and sanitary sewer. And with that, Ms. Lucretia Bilberry, our city engineer, will go over this item as she handled the procurement.
Thank you, Mr. McEwen. Mayor and council, the request we are bringing before you today is for a contract for pipelining services with Vortex Services. The project consists of pipelining for the sanitary sewer line on Old Ivy Road and a stormwater line that runs from West Fredericks to Mayfield. Maps were included in your packets showing both locations. We put this project out to bid in early December. We had a pre-bid meeting at the project site on December 11th, and bids were due on December 20th. We received 3 bids for consideration. The low bid was $220,575, which was received from Vortex Services. While we believe the low bid is reasonable and should cover the cost, as we like to do on these types of projects, would like to go ahead and include a contingency, which is why we are requesting $242,000 for the not to exceed contract.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Have we used Vortex before?
Yes, the sewer department uses them frequently.
And their price is in line with what we would estimate?
Yes, they're very competitive.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Anything else, guys?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract for $42,000 to Vortex Services.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed $242,000.
Thank you. We have a first by Mr. Stewart, second by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last item of new business is request consideration to add 2 new positions to the Planning and Development Division, Transportation, to support the Anderson-Clemson Area Transportation Study. And before I turn it over to David, maybe I'll give a little background on some of the developments here. We have 3 seats, this council, on which will now be called the ACATS. If you remember, it was ANATS, Anderson Area Transportation Study Committee, but now we will change it to ACATS. And so, probably, and David might go into it a little bit further, but the footprint of our study area just, it increased tremendously, as you saw in the background material, and mainly for urban areas. And so the city of Anderson, in the surrounding area of ways that these projects will be funded, kind of developed away from the Greenville system, which the Greenville system became more urbanized, that focused in on Greenville specific, and so that's why our territory grew. I'm obviously not an expert at this, but it's a good thing for our community. It's a good thing for our development. So with that, maybe David, can you give a little deeper background into
Yes, absolutely.
what's proposed here?
Thank you, Mayor. So after 2020 census, they do reevaluate these urbanized areas, and that's what happened here. Lines are redrawn. People make decisions who's going to join what to the urbanized area. In short, Anderson and Clemson combined into a greater urbanized area of 183,000 people. Then you had some options of some of the other municipalities if they wanted to join, if they want to join the urbanized area or not. Belton, Williamston, Pelzer, West Pelzer, Pendleton, Clemson, Central, and Norris all joined, and they were eligible to join, and we'll have representation on this. It's simple in regard to these positions. They're fully funded through federal funds. The federal funds go to the state. The state pushes out these federal funds to the MPOs to make local decisions on transportation planning and projects. That's how the East-West Parkway was built. That's how the intersection improvements that you see in most areas are being built. There's a lot of different projects in the works. And that will actually enlarge as well, because it's not just the Greater Anderson projects. You're talking about Clemson projects now with their own unique traffic situations. And so with the MPO growing, the city houses the MPO. I think it sits really well with us. It was agreeable amongst all the people joining in, the new members joining in, also the existing members, also working with the county that remain with the city. Again, it's a urbanized, and it's urbanized planning, and cities do that very well. That's what we do every day in the Planning Development Division. And so we house this in the Planning Development Division. However, the positions that we're requesting, so we have Mr. Mike Gay, who's our transportation planner now, who led ANATS and also will lead Anderson Clemson Area Transportation Study, ACATS. He'll become the transportation manager. And in support of this greater area and what's all required, 2 positions are required. One is a transportation planner to replace himself, and then the other one is a GIS technician. There's a lot of reporting, a lot of data, a lot of analysis that goes into this along all the projects. There's project benchmarks metrics they have to meet with SCDOT to meet the federal funds. And so the reason this is before you tonight and not just before the NPO, even though all the funds are from the ACATs, is because we have in our budget, we have a budget allocation of personnel. So simply a request to add 2 positions since we house these positions, but they're fully funded, again, through the state and through the federal funds. And so we're requesting tonight the approval for 2 new transportation positions that will be housed within the Planning Development Division and funded through the Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or the NPO's budget, including new staffing will not exceed the annual funds that they have. And so again, it's a transportation planner and a GIS technician to add to the staff, which was just Mr. Mike Gay. So it's a lot to manage. Another thing to mention too, this also will include, as far as planning purposes and to a degree operational planning, and is not only our transit system, but now the Clemson transit system. We do a lot together already. Obviously our transit systems connect, but now with the urbanized area being completely connected, there's a lot of opportunity there to take it to another level. We're real excited about that. I know the new ACATS is excited about those opportunities as well. So with that, we're requesting your approval tonight. Mr. Mike Gay is here to answer any more detailed questions you have about the NPO, but I think that just about covers it.
Thank you. That was a lot, but any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So we have allocated in our budget under Mike's department, is it currently last year was 416,000? Or is that in addition to what we have allocated?
Addition. And so we won't get our exact numbers. It was around 220,000, I think is where we're at. It fluctuates a little bit. So we'll be at a minimum of 416,000.
So it's just double what we currently have.
Yes, and then the project money got the minimum for MPOs is now $5 million. We used to get $2 million, so they've been pushing more. So we're going with $5 million, which means more projects and so forth that we're going to be able to do. And we're thinking that there's a possibility we may get more money in that for the MPO.
So just help me understand. So when we get this $416,000, let's just say that's what we get.
Right.
Is that just for salaries for 3 people? Where does all that money go?
Yeah, it's for the managerial to manage the program so it'll be for these 3 people. Yes.
Good paying position.
Well, it's for any costs, administration costs for the program. Yeah.
Yeah. Good questions. Any other questions? Comments from, I know Jeff and John, y'all on anything from you guys?
Maybe a couple of comments.
Go ahead.
I feel fortunate that the ACATS is housed at the City of Anderson, and the level of confidence that our sister municipalities have put into us to allow us to continue to do that. But it also comes with greater responsibility. There's also greater opportunities for our transportation needs. And as Mr. McCune mentioned, it comes with more funding. So greater opportunities lie ahead of us.
It does. I'll echo Mr. Roberts' words, and but just to also be reminded that it also comes with a greater area too, that we're dealing with. But hopefully, I know Mr. Gay does a great job, and I'm confident in his ability to continue pushing that forward. So I look for great things to come. And you're right. I think we are blessed that it's based at the City of Anderson.
Good.
So we have 3 seats on that?
Yes. And now the board consists of representatives, elected officials from the 9 cities. Before we had at-large positions for non-elected officials. And this particular board, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not speaking out of turn, will be strictly elected officials from the municipalities and also our 2 senators, I think, maybe,
Along with the counties.
along with the county's
Representation as well.
representatives. So county representatives within those 2 areas too.
I mean, I think it's great that we have, you know, to my knowledge, I've never been to an ANATS or an ACATS meeting in my 16 years, but it's hats off to Mike Gay and, you know, his leadership that he's done, that they entrust for us to host that. So with that, Mayor, I'd make a motion that we approve this, and congratulations to the other people who've served on the ANATS, that they'll be serving on ACATS.
ACATS. We have first by Mr. Horgan, second by Mr. Stewart. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just kind of echo what Councilman Roberts was saying and Councilman Harvin, is that, you know, these, you know, feel fortunate that these sister cities entrust us to have it here, but more importantly, that our sister cities entrust the leadership through Mike Gay to continue to lead that, you know, for the ACAT. So just appreciate all the work that you do.
Yeah, I'll say it was, you can see there's a lot to this, but there was a lot more to this, and it was a lot to navigate politically as well. Mike Gay took this and ran with it, and he had a very short time frame to do it and report back to the state, and did a great job of that. And we look forward to this growing and the transportation department growing, and we see other possibilities there too, with maybe a traffic engineer position in the future. And so it'll continue to grow, and we'll see where we are.
Thank you. Had a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. That was the last item on our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
What?
I have a first by Mrs. Stewart, second by Mr. Roberts. Before we remind everybody, we have the MLK, the city's MLK breakfast this Friday. Starts at 8 o'clock at the Civic Center. Breakfast starts at 8:30. It'll be a good program. The our keynote speaker is a gentleman that spoke to us at the winter conference at the Municipal Association last year, and so he has a good message. So with that,
Just like to add one more thing. I know a lot of us may not saw the email, but one of Dr. Thompson's Dream Team members passed away yesterday, Apostle James Bennett. So let's please keep Reverend Bennett's family in your prayers.
he's a friend of the city. Thank you. With that, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.